Hello and welcome back to Fusion 360 The Basics. My name is Roman, and in this part we're going to be going over how to create components and joints out of those components. So, there's a lot of cool things you can do with them. I'm going to show them off here, or just some of the features here. So, I've gone ahead and hidden the rest of the objects, the keychain and the doorstop. Very easy to do so. And I've created these in the time I did off camera. And these are the components that we're going to be turning into, and I'm going to be showcasing how components work and everything related to that. So in Assemble, you'll see New Component, which turns bodies into components. So we're going to be deselecting this and going down to, instead of empty component, from bodies, so we can select certain bodies. So we're going to be turning this and shift-clicking this into components. Click OK. So now, these are both components, and they have their own little component features attached to them, which are entirely separate from their body features. So we can also join them together now that they're components. So we're going to join together this bottom half. So you get this coming up, and it allows you to select the first component, which is this. We're going to make this bottom. The second component being the bottom of here, right here, down this tube at the very bottom, and there you go. The animation, it shows it going inside of the component, just directly into it, in case you didn't see that. I'll redo it. I'll redo it. It puts the joints together from the components, so the bottom of here and the bottom of there, and then it goes into place, locks it into place. So now you can check the components. So this has a right and left side. There's a lot of things you can do with components. So this is mostly for if you're checking to see, let's say you're making a screwdriver and a screw to accompany it. Let's say you're 3D printing that. So you put them together so it looks like what it'll look like in real life if you're 3D printing them. So there's motion. We can do a revolve motion, which is pretty cool. It's animated, and you can, of course, stop it, play it at any moment. Switch the axes. So this is kind of wonky sometimes if it's not in the right motion. But yeah, of course, there's this motion as well. Lots of different ones, or you can see how it's working. Let's say this was a pinwheel, then it would be it would show the motion of it, or an umbrella. So, and of course, custom motion, which you select the kind of motion it has. But for this, we're just going to keep it on the axis, and we're going to check out the different kinds. So slide, you can make it go like up and down. Cylindrical, which does like a circle. So this is a pretty bad example of it. It's also lagging pretty heavily because Fusion does that sometimes. Pin slot, and it goes like in a circle. Let's get that again. Yep. So these are for whatever you want them to be, basically. Ball, and it will rotate around like that if it's like a joint connected to each other. So, an example of that would be creating a ball and then attaching a cylindrical piece onto it, and then it would rotate around the ball in this piece like an actual joint would. So you can also, so this can be used for slight animation, or slight just like the movements that you want to see like this. So basically, something like this would be what I would have this for. This is not an actual use of this component. Just have a basic right-left made on it really simply. And it'll rotate around in that hole itself because it was turned into a component and jointed. So we're going to click OK. So now that it has its joints added onto it, and it's revolve 1, which we can play if it decides to work. And now we can now save this motion that we set it up as. So there's a lot of different joints. There's a lot of different joints that you can save the animation of. So let's say you're testing out a new tool you're inventing, or a painting, and you want to see how it rotates on whatever point. You can set up them and save them just by putting them through something like this. So we're gonna go back. Let's see if we can. Alright, so Fusion does not seem to be cooperating right now. There we go. Alright, we're just going to lock the motion there. So, pretty simple thing to do. This can be used with a lot of ways. It doesn't have to interlock like what I showed it off, them being the same size and everything, but that helps out with it, or helps out with the look of it, of course. So, continuing down and assemble, built as a joint. So this is more for if you wanted the exact shape of it. Of course, also joint is J, and this would be shift J. So this one will try to retain its current position if it's not the exact same size. So this can be used for multiple ways, like what I did this hole here, but this would be the actual size you would want to use this for. And so, like in the picture example, it would say that it is a X-Acto blade knife. It would try to fit itself in there by itself, which is pretty simple to use. Of course, giving a joint an origin so it doesn't leave that plane. So like the rotation, it wouldn't like go within the box. It would just stay within the circle if asked to do so. Yeah, and yeah, of course, locking the position. Same thing as. So you can select different joints together along with groups, so they stay within the range that you select them in. So joints can be used in a multiple ways. So now that we have this set up for joints, I'm going to be doing a quick, show off thing for joints, just how quickly they can be made. So I'm going to be hiding this, just in this right here. I'm going to be hiding it. And, beforehand, I'm going to be saving. Always remember to save. Good practice to have. So, let's see. Let's go over to component 1. So these are the 2 components. We're going to be just shutting those down. We're going to be starting from nothing on the field. Everything's hidden. And we're going to be starting from scratch, creating a joint component. So going down to sphere. Nope. It's good. It's fine. Just warning us that our components have been moved. We're going to be creating a 10mm sphere. And creating a 10mm cylinder that's around 35mm tall. So, and attached to the end of that, we're going to have a sphere that's going to be joined up with it, and a torus that is going to be. It may be in the background. We'll just move it over. Let's move that down, make it a little bit thinner, and we're going to click OK. Select this, and of course there's the right button click menu, which has a lot of tools that you can use in the moment. So this is more of like you can hide it instantly. So right button clicking upon any object, so clicking and then right button clicking gets this menu, which a lot of instant tools. You don't have to use keybinds or anything. Should have gone over this in previous things, but by and by, gonna click over and move this, grab that, bring that over here. Bring that up, rotate it, bring that up, see if I can get a good angle on this. Looks like it's inside. Clicking OK. And now I'm going to be combining these together. Going to combine, join them together. Great, now they're all one. So now I'm going to be turning this hoop into a rotatable joint. Just by going to Assemble, New Component, from Bodies, selecting this, and selecting this other ball down here. So, yep, there we go. Got them both as new components. They are now components 4 and 3 of part of the same joint feature. So we're going to joint this ball with the inside of this. So it goes up and it locks itself in place. I'm going to be moving that up a little bit. And now we have the freedom to do what we want with this. Actually, I'm going to be switching that around. I'm going to be doing the joint being the first component being the inside of this, the second being this ball. So this moves down and becomes attached to our ball. Let's just move you down a little bit. There we go. Now it's in the very center of it. And now we're going to turn this bottom piece into, let's do something cool. Let's just attach a box to the bottom of this, turn that out like around this big, and there we go. Pretty cool. So it's not exact. Got like a small flag to put on the bottom, almost looks like a key. And we're going to be going back into this joint. No, that's edit the joint, just bringing it back up. Ah, that wasn't converted to a component. Yeah, you always want to make sure everything's converted to a component. Yep, just reconverting that. Bring it up. Edit joint. That seems to vanish. Whatever. We'll just keep that down. And we're going to cut here. Continue. So we're going to be just messing around with how this works out with this. So something like this, slider wouldn't work, but revolves it perfectly around the circle point where we have it set. You can bring it down here, revolve it again. Got a really cool motion going on. Just how joints work up, they just do stuff like this. It's crazy. Cylinder, of course, brings it out like this. There's a lot of cool designs and like cool things you can do with joints, such as what I'm doing right now. Change its axis, make it be pin slot, or revolve. Just normal revolve. Stuff like this, yeah, of course. Kind of has like a futuristic globe vibe to it. And of course, this animation can be saved and exported if you need it for a demo of some sort. But this was just a short little demo of what you can do with stuff related to that. Let's get rid of this piece. So we're going to be continuing on and just hiding these bodies. And let's get back to where we were before, which would be, all right, so we can bring some of these back. We can specify the joint angle or how much we want the joint to go out. So something like this, we can make sure that it doesn't go beyond that rotation. So it has that amount within the joint. So if we go back to edit the joint, it will stay within that during the rotation. Since it has the 90-degree angle on it, the rotation will be within that angle that we set it as. Yep. There's its original point and its other point, and we can make it select itself and go back to that. We can also capture the position of the current joint, so we can go back to it or copy and paste it attached and make other joints that we have here go to that original position. So that should be everything related to joints, or at least components and joints. So on the next episode, we're going to be getting into creating forms and how those can be easily turned into excellent looking 3D models using a wide variety of pretty advanced tools, or about pretty close to getting into the real. We're gonna get into the real stuff coming out of this episode. So this has been episode 6. My name is Roman, and this is Fusion 360 Basics, signing off.